You listen to the Asa Park podcast.
The Asa Park podcast.
That was actually my mindset when going back to North Korea to negotiate about drugs and weapons was, if we're being exposed, I need to freak out of them so they just kill me right away because I don't want to undergo torture.
That's sick.
Yeah. And Alejandro had done his passport withdrawn when I came back from the US, as I was saying before. And it was because the Spanish government had him under suspicion of doing arms trading in Spain. And that prevented him to travel to North Korea in the beginning of 2017 with me and Mr. James. So I was being pronounced as Alejandro, the guy who is leading this business trip, which actually were quite good for us because I think Alejandro would have found out something was wrong there. I don't know, but otherwise we played it differently. And being in North Korea with Jim, Mr. James, was a bit of the experience because Jim comes from a completely other world than me, been criminal for so many years, and I've been living on the right side of the law. But I think that that big difference between us was the thing that made work in North Korea and negotiating with the North Korean.
It worked brilliantly, in my opinion, and you have to say that Jim, Mr. James, he plays the role perfectly. Like it's spot on. It couldn't have been more perfect. It's like it is the image I have of this half criminal, half on the right side of the law, kingpin, doing like an international arms dealer. He looks the part. Yeah. But again, getting into North Korea this last time with Jim, was it? Did you book how do you book? Like I'm going practical here. How do one book a trip to North Korea without going through the agencies that have these trips?
Call Alejandro. He helps you.
Okay.
No, Alejandro arranged the flight tickets from Beijing to Pyongyang, from China to North Korea, and have arranged. When you come to North Korea, everything is arranged in advance. They know you're coming, they know where you're going to live, what you do. And then we simply just book the flights ourselves from Copenhagen to Beijing. Spend a night over or 2 nights in Beijing for collecting up the visas. And then simply just going by 7 people in the flight from Beijing to Pyongyang when we go. There's no more in the flight, and it's a 2 hour flight.
How early do you get into character, though? So, because I'm guessing you're thinking that you might be under surveillance even in Beijing, or
at the moment we met up in the airport in Copenhagen. We had a nice dinner in the airport at the Mass Steakhouse, and in the flight, the character began simply because we can't just be Ulrich and Jim now and then switch. We need to go into the whole thing. So talking English talking English all the way around, because in our opinion, if we start talking Danish together, they could maybe think we were talking about them or saying bad things. So when we were communicating, especially in North Korea, it was all in English, everything.
Yeah.
And that's the creepy part, because the North Korean, because they have to talk, they will speak Korean. So we could literally have spent 2 hours talking about weapons and drugs and how to produce, how to sell, what to do around the world. And then they start talk Korean. So they could say, well, these guys are full of shit.
Let's kill them.
Let's just kill them. Simply as that.
But you brought cameras also. What was the explanation for that? Because now you were not going to document and
it was just
content
to show if other people want to negotiate and were criminals, we could use those recordings with Alejandro. So the North Korean trusted me so much that during those negotiations in secret places in Pyongyang, they took my camera without my notice and just started filming me around as well. Yeah. So that's why I'm so much on the recordings from North Korea as well, because the North Korean trusted me so much. And I was just taking pictures here and there and say, do the tourist thing as you have to do. And say, hey, can we have a few photos from here? Our film clip that we are sitting here having a great time discussing business. Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. So, and I had nothing was checked. Nothing was. So, but I did several copies. I had 2 hard drives. So and some memory cards with the recordings. And I remember coming from Pyongyang to Beijing again. At my hotel room, all the papers, pictures, recordings. I took pictures of every papers by my phone, by cameras, and walking around with a hard drive in my pocket the whole time in China. We have to stay there one night just to make sure if someone breaks in my hotel, I will at least have the hard drive on me with the recordings and pictures. So yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
And I left my computer. I left my hard drive, memory card. I just left them on my table at the hotel room, not hiding it, just make it look like a big mess, as it usually do.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I wasn't hiding anything.
So okay. But okay, so you're going into North Korea with Mr. James, which is the action starts. But it starts slow. First you have to go on as you mentioned, the obligatory tour of the worship, all the leaders and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, the first 2 days were a bit different than what Alejandro told us we have to do. So I have to talk with the North Koreans, say, haven't Alejandro briefed you correctly about why I'm here with Mr. James? Yeah, but we need to be sure. Well, listen, in 4 days we are gone. So we need to step up now because they want him to rent an office hotel so he can work from North Korea. And I was like, you don't even have the internet, so he can't work here. He can't have guests here. It's too complicated. And then after saying, well, we need to do something, they start up the next morning. Now they have to fully trust, and then let's move on. And then they presented all the weapon systems, the way to produce narcotics, methamphetamine especially. And it was, I never thought we came out alive, but we got everything out with us. So we agree on dealing with them.
Yeah, but this is interesting the way it happens. From what I remember, you think that okay, we've had these waste of days. You're just been worshiping Kim Il Sung for the nth time, and then all of a sudden next day you drive somewhere new and you drive outside, like to a strange place.
Yeah, well,
in the outskirts of
we're
Pyongyang.
going to a place where you don't what you don't show tourists in North Korea. As I said, it's a true North Korea, not the showcase of Pyongyang city, inner city, and going down a road where you can see people so poor, so dirty, people literally, do the things they have to do in person on the streets because they don't have toilets. It was so smelly, and in that house, which looked like it was about to fall apart, they asked us to go down a basement. And at that point, my mind was, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
And I go down this long hall down the basement. It's completely dark, and at the end there's a door, and they asked me to open the door. And it was a very heavy door, so I have to use both arms. And when I start opening it, it started like you opening a door into a discotheque or something with a lot of flashlights and stuff. And I was like, shit, they're gonna do some psychedelic mindset, or they got to break us down. But then open the door completely. There was this huge table with all kind of luxury food, and there was a drum kit, and it was everything. And then we had to start talking business. I was expecting at the end of that tunnel into the door, I hear the sound of a gun saying, and then lights out, I'm dead.
Yeah.
But luckily no. But I think this place is for them to be sure because it was sound isolated. So everything was what you're talking about in there, staying in there. Then
Well, it didn't.
No,
because you brought hidden cameras in there. That is, I can't imagine what I would have been feeling if I knew that I had hidden mics, hidden cameras. Because at any point, not that they could be like, "We need to just do a courtesy. We have to check you guys. Like we trust you. We just have to check you." You weren't afraid of that?
No, because I wasn't really using secret cameras there. I was more open about filming because I knew if they find something that could use as a spy trap, something that will be the problem. So I was quite open about filming there. I also I think we're having a dinner, and I just turned on the camera, forgot everything about it. It was filming for like an hour and a half during a dinner where we were talking. I think I made like 70 hours of recordings in North Korea from meetings and places with people, going to big, wellness centers with pools and water slides and 7 different saunas. And they want to show me everything. So if you try to walk in a sauna with 110 degrees in a suit, it's not nice. But they want to show you everything. So we ended up in an ice sauna in the end, so I could be cooled down again. But they showed us also the things they like to show, but they also drove us out in the areas where they were expecting for me as a loyal soldier not to talk about this place in North Korea.